Hello everyone. I'm finally making a video I said I was going to be making for a long time. With my new equipment that I said I was going to actually use, aside from the one video. Today we're talking about polyrhythms. What is the purpose of polyrhythms? It's so that you can maximize your expression in a way that you wanted to or intended to, but you felt like you can't because of the patterns in the game. Now this is going to be kind of hard for me to do. I'm going to give you an example of what polyrhythms can be like. For now, let's start, we'll play it literally, right? So we're just gonna hit notes as they come down. Now, when I look at plays or when I'm judging people's performances, this is cool, this is a good baseline to have. Well, whenever I watch 2 minutes of someone just stepping exactly on the beat like this, it gets boring real quick. Don't worry about the pad, don't worry about the pad. So let's polyrhythm this up. We're gonna make this a little creative. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Polys. You see what I mean though? And we're gonna go over how to actually do this. I got robbed. So let's talk about what you just saw. Yes, there are notes coming down the chart. Almost the entirety of the game is based on quarter notes, eighth notes. So like Night Hiker, most of it is this. There's one instance in which there's an eighth, which is boom, boom, boom. If you find yourself getting creatively blocked or even bored because you're playing the game the same way pretty much every single time, learning to utilize polyrhythms completely opens up all of your creative options. So let's say a T-step, so right, left, left, left. You don't have to do that. You could just step, hold while you're stepping, right? Boom, 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 boom. When you do polyrhythms, you're trying to create an illusion. Your legs are still going to be stepping, but if you minimize the movement of those steps and you're working more with your upper body, you draw so much attention up here that you can't even tell that you're still hitting notes to begin with. So let's give it another example. Let's say Saturday Night Love, baby. One of the most straight up, this is the whole song. But we can make this very tasty. So we're gonna step it out first like we would. This creates a vibe. It's not like I'm saying I'm not saying get rid of all of your steps, right? This is fine to be hitting the notes at 4/4 each. But here we go, halftime polys. Just like that, just like that. So now we're gonna really poly it up. I don't really like to do it here, but we'll make it work. Never done that before. Boom, poly, look at that. We're gonna try and glide this out. I'm still holding the mic, I'm not even saying anything. Get the fuck out of here. So, the point of polyrhythms is to allow you to be able to do the idea that you have in your head, but when you play the chart, it's seemingly like it won't let you. Shut up. This is why this is such an interesting skill. It has a very high skill ceiling. because the more you can minimize your movements from the pad, the more of the illusion that you can create while you're doing anything else that you want to. So any of these songs that you listen to on your headphones or at your desk or something, you know, you start cooking up all these crazy ideas and you want to make them work, but you start to play the game and you just can't. This is when you start to pick up polyrhythms and you be able to interpret that however you want to. Now, with that being said, I would start this skill, training this skill, with very simple songs like Night Hiker and Saturday Night Love. We'll put you on another one. Always a classic, always a classic. This is definitely 10 times better than this mid-ass song that you guys love for some reason. This is real peak right here. Only the real ones know. So watch this, check this out, check this out. Check this out. It's for all of you. Oh, I didn't say part of that, that's my fault, that's my fault. You didn't see that. So when you step, right? You could damn, I missed that. That was cool. I don't know how I did that. And that's how much you can cook with polys. I just did something I've never done before. Get out of here. Poly, 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 poly. And now I can do all this stuff, right? Leave it a little vibey. Boom, boom. Boom. Woo. Ah, I don't want, you didn't see that, you didn't see that, you didn't see that. I think I dropped combo right there. So having all of this self-control here, right, especially when you start playing with verticality and angles, is part of the polyrhythm skill ceiling. Now, you might be asking yourself, Dakota, you're really only using polys on easy patterns like T-steps and basic steps, lefts and rights by themselves. As far as your legs go, you're still kind of obligated to hit a pattern. But that doesn't mean that you can't create the illusion up here, and I'll show you how. Doing this all with one arm kind of sucks, I'm not gonna lie, but it's like the only way you're gonna be able to hear me. Shuffling isn't much different. Polyrhythmically, everything up here is gonna be moving on its own. I don't know how that hit. Watch this, watch this. Ready, shuffle. Oh, we're hitting polys. You're doing shit with the arms. And you can poly it out. I don't want to do it right here necessarily. I hit that. Well, what do you mean? So, you know, downs are pretty obvious, right? So let's poly this part out. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Let's see what else we can come up with. Oh yeah, let's talk about 8th follows. Check this out, check this out. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Ah, whatever. But the general idea for polys is you're gonna have some kind of foundational appendage, right? One of your legs is gonna go step. And maybe you might hold it and do some stuff with this leg. Or maybe you would boom. You could still kind of step like this, right? You could do that while you're getting down over here. Or even, let's just say it's a march, right? Left, right, left, right, left, right. I keep coming up with these new ideas because that's the options that are allotted to you when you know how to do it. I highly, 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 highly recommend every single person who plays Dance Rush and has good fundamentals to start working on polyrhythms. So, the skill ceiling is limitless. You're gonna keep coming up with new stuff. You're gonna realize how much more you can keep coming up with, and it never stops. So the more you learn, the more of a liberating feeling that you have when you play the game, because you can just mess around and be hitting notes on the pad the entire time. Now in this last set, there's a last bit of information that I want to talk about with the importance of developing your polyrhythms, right? Legs will move at quarters or 8th notes, but your upper body will be moving in a completely different syncopation to project the image of the idea that you already had in your head. But this is a requirement to be able to play the hardest song in this game, okay? Listen very closely to me. If you want to express the hardest song in this game, you need to learn polyrhythms. You don't have any excuse. Let's try to create the illusion with our upper body while we play, while I'm holding this. I hit that now. My legs are too tired for this. Poly it out. See how I'm using my verticality to create the polyrhythm? Still hitting the notes as I want to. Everyone's favorite part. Oh, that would have been cool if I hit that. Wow, my knees. As a baseline skill, you can start to use your verticality instead of just worrying about all this crazy technical stuff that you'd be doing on a T-step. Let's just say a T-step, a right, left, left, left. You could just do one big roll, right, left, left, left. But as long as you create a different shape or musical expression with your upper body while your legs are doing their own thing, then you're engaging in polyrhythms, baby. Let's do very, very slow polyrhythms. doing this type of thing allows you to bring all of that out, all of this passion and expression. I mean, if the song calls for it, you know. This is sort of a very floaty, have fun, I'm in the clouds type song. But we're gonna really ham it up just to prove a point of what you can do with polyrhythms. I had to switch arms for this. Keep it real low. I don't know how I missed that note. There we go. Very nice, very nice. That's something I'm working on, so it's a little rough. Go back to vibing, go back to vibing. Keep it on the 4/4. Ah, I fell off. All right, now we're gonna do some shuffle polys. Here we go. You probably hear the mic flailing around like that. Minimize the movement, minimize the movement, minimize the movement. Now bring it up. I forgot to step there. Boom, ba-da-dum, boom. So when you invest in these polyrhythmic options, not only do you have creatively more things to do, but you have way more tools to hit notes with. Like, that's a 96, almost a 96.5. And I'm just kind of messing around. I obviously have a general idea of what to expect of the patterns, but this keeps you from having to like memorize charts or like study them on YouTube and think like, oh, I need to step here, I need to step here to do these things. Like, no, you don't. What you can actually do is just develop your intuition so highly that you have so many different tools and creative options to be able to hit the same pattern. So, you know, if I see a T-step in Shuffle Cats or something, Shuffle Cats have T-steps? Yeah, it does, towards the end. If I see a T-step in there, I'm not gonna think, here's the first T-step of this section, I'm gonna do this move, and here's the second T-step, so now I'm gonna do this move. It's not like that. You develop the intuition, even when you just sight read songs, and you see these patterns, and be able to feel it on a musical level, where your body just responds, and you're like, man, I really want to do this right now. Not to look cool, it's because that's what you want to do. It just happens to look cool. In summary, what I don't want to see out of players, especially for you crazy shuffle and love you players who like to do 2 minutes of air, air. Like, I get it. Like, it feels cool to be able to shuffle, right? But this game's been out for like 7 years, 8 years. I don't even know. You should not be shuffling for 2 minutes straight. Nobody wants to see shuffling for 2 minutes straight. This is something I didn't mention, but this goes back to the whole like idea of contrast, where if you do stay within like 4/4 or the time signature of 4/4, but you're just hitting notes on the quarter note every single time for 2 minutes straight, your consistency and energy levels are pretty much like up here all the time. And that gets boring very quickly, and I am willing to bet money that any of you who do that get tired very quickly. I just blasted 3 sets in a row. Like, I'm sweating. But I could probably play like 10 more. Because when you invest in the polyrhythms, you develop the self-control to be able to chill out and do something more creative. It doesn't have to be this big energy all the time. You need to create contrast, have some lows here, so your big parts look even bigger. It's creative. Every art form on God's green earth has contrast. But if you don't develop into polyrhythms. And if you just want to do this, you just want to do this for 2 minutes straight, not only are you burning yourself out way, way, way faster, but you are doing yourself a disservice to, to be able to improve. You will plateau. Like, plain and simple, you do that for 2 minutes straight, you plateau. I know that sounds really harsh, and maybe for you people who aspire to do nothing but shuffle, that does sound kind of harsh. I don't want to take the feeling of contentment away from anyone. If you are truthfully at peace with yourself and you're happy with your dance, cool. I'm not going to take that away from you. This is purely for those who want to improve and get to the next level, but they themselves have felt like they are creatively bankrupt, like they've run out of ideas. So where do you go from here? I don't know how it is. Whenever I make these videos, I always come up with some kind of life lesson. It's insane. It's an arcade game. It doesn't need to be that serious, right? Whatever. I need to stop talking. I'm going to go back to playing this game without recording anything anymore. I love you guys. Thanks for watching the video. But seriously, don't subscribe. Bye-bye.